Okay, welcome to our weekly podcast. Episode whatever we're up to.
5.
5.
I think this is 5.
I think it is 5. It is 5. Anyway, welcome to our weekly podcast. I'm Andy.
I'm Mark.
And we're going to basically just spend the next
hour-ish,
hopefully, talking about games.
AAM, you win.
We'll start off mainly, I think, talking about what games we're playing.
Yep.
What are you playing this week, Mark?
Well, mostly I've been playing Kid Icarus Uprising. I partly wanted to say Awakening, because that's Fire Emblem Awakening, isn't it? Yes, Kid Icarus Uprising.
Kid Icarus isn't Awakening, unfortunately.
Yeah, so I've been pretty much playing that. It's been on my shelf for ages. I briefly mentioned it in the last podcast, but with so much news to mention that I didn't really get onto some of the finer points.
Last week's mammoth 2-hour?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
luckily, you didn't talk about Kid Icarus because
yeah. Well, that's the thing. I played it back and I realised that we did actually talk. Or we spent quite a bit. We spent like 10 minutes talking about the games we were playing, and it was just like we shouldn't have done that.
Well, we should have really. But anyway, we can talk about it more this week because E3 didn't happen this week.
Yeah.
We've got another 12 months to wait until another one.
As you said, we timed this right. We timed the podcast perfectly. You know, 4th episode in, it's the E3, so it's just sort of I gave us time to do what we wanted to do. Anyway, do you want me to go on and discuss Kid Icarus now?
Oh yeah, I think
and then
you've mentioned it.
Yeah, alright, fair enough. Alright, well, I've been playing that. I'm also technically been I discussed last time that I've given up on Monster Hunter now.
Yeah, you've quit Monster Hunter, and
I just don't have the patience for it, and I think I said that in the last one, but anyway, I'm not going on about that. I also wanted to play, or started playing Trine 2, because we downloaded that on the Wii U.
I downloaded it when it was on sale for some, I think it was like 50% off, and I just bought it.
Yeah,
I've not played it yet, but you've played it now, haven't you?
I've played it. I feel kind of harsh. It's about average. For a game, for the game itself, it's quite average.
Looks good though.
It looks fantastic. The graphics are brilliant, but it looks fantastic. It just plays a little bit gimmicky. Like you have to use the touchscreen, and that's fine. If the game was orientated around the touchscreen entirely, then that's fine. I've played games like that, and they're all right. But this one requires you to switch between controls via the buttons and controls via the touchscreen constantly. This isn't like Metro Prime Hunters, where you used the buttons and the touchscreen hand in hand. This is like, you can't use both at the same time. You've got to, because you basically use the control stick to move. You use the control stick to move and the touchscreen to attack and do other things. Like the magician can create boxes and move items, the swordsman can obviously fight, and the thief can shoot bows and arrows, which she's quite good, but the combat is clunky because you're tapping the screen. But it's not just a case of tap the enemy you want to hit, you just tap the screen in general and he'll attack. But it's always annoying because you can't judge the range that way, I
find. You can't press the buttons to attack?
No.
Is it not Pro Controller supported then now?
I don't think so, no.
It mustn't be. That's a bit weird. And there's no there must maybe this controller options that you don't know about. But
maybe there is, maybe there isn't.
But that's a bit annoying. I haven't played it yet.
I always hate using the term gimmicky. As I think I've discussed it in a previous podcast, gimmicky to me is only when something is added on for no reason, where it could have been done another way and a much more better way. If it impedes the enjoyment of the game.
A little bit like the waggle in Donkey Kong Country Returns.
Yeah, the Donkey Kong Country Returns, like going up and down with the control stick and the nunchuck.
It's not overly necessary, really. You could just do it on a button.
Yeah, exactly. You could just press a button, which is probably where the 3DS version excels. But yeah, so Trine 2, it's good. I enjoyed it, but And I like the idea that the environments are entirely sort of, you can move the environments around and, you know, solve puzzles. It's like a puzzle game. You beat one puzzle, like there's one level made up of like 17 puzzles, and you beat one puzzle and you go to the next one, and you beat that puzzle and you go to the next one, and you have to work around the environment to work the puzzles. But sometimes because of the touchscreen it gets a bit fiddly, and you just sort of like pressing here and you don't mean to press there, and you go all over the place, and it's so it's an average game, decent, but it's nothing like revolutionary. I mean, people on the Miiverse are like going, I love this game, and I'm just like going, well, each to their own. I'm not really going to slag them off and say they don't know games, because they probably do. But getting on to my main game, I was discussing this with you. Usually my main game, the game that I devote most of my time to, exists on consoles, like home consoles. And the portable ones act as my sort of
supplement.
Yeah. Well, it's just like, let's say I wanted to play on the Wii U, but the TV was being used, I'd go, oh, well, no worries. I mean, technically, with the Wii U, I could just pick up the Wii U anyway and play that. But, it's kind of made my argument quite invalid now. But Kid Icarus has become my main game. It's the game that I really am playing a lot of. Now, I want to discuss one thing about this game. A lot of people have said it's unplayable.
Yeah, you're not playing it without. You're playing it without the.
I'm playing it without the
Pro.
Circlepad Pro. I got this game right as soon as this game got announced. I was like getting it because it was announced at a time when 3DS had no games. So I was just going like, well, there's a game.
Remember that time? Jeez.
Remember that time? Yes. That
now
time
you can't move.
Now you can't move for games. Seriously, there's games everywhere. But yeah, so it was at that time I said I'm getting that game, and then it came out and I was like, I should really get that game. But then it came out at a time when loads of other games came out, and the backlog for me was already quite big.
Well, my backlog doesn't shrink; it just expands constantly.
Yeah. Excuse me. But what's I saying? Yeah, it came out at a time when loads of other games were coming out, so I didn't really play it. And then I was going to play it like very recently, like a few months ago. But then I remember hearing that so many people were saying, oh, it's unplayable. Without the Circlepad Pro, it's unplayable. And I was like going, oh, I don't have a Circlepad Pro. And then I was up in the air, because it was also about the time I was going to get a 3DS XL. And I was like, well, if I'm going to play the game, and I'm going to get a 3DS XL, am I going to get the 3DS XL Circlepad Pro, or am I going to get the normal 3DS one? Anyway, about a few weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago, I took the plunge and just went, forget it, I may as well just dive in and just sort of see what it's like.
Get it without the Circlepad Pro.
One thing, it's not unplayable. It is not unplayable. It can be tricky at first, like there's a learning curve. It's mainly like the ground combat, because Kid Icarus has air combat or ground combat. Every level is made up of air combat, ground combat, boss. That's what it is. It's air combat, ground combat, boss. That's the structure. And it's when you're in the air, you're on a set path. It's like on the rails, and you just shoot at what's around, and you use the touchscreen to aim. On the second one, though, the ground combat, you move him around using the control stick, and you use the touchscreen to aim. But it's not like your typical sense of like your first-person shooter type games where you would move the cursor to the edge of the screen and the cursor would turn the screen around. It does that, but very slowly, and in order to make him turn, you have to spin. You have to like slide.
Swipe
you have
the
to
screen,
like quickly slide across the touchscreen with the stylus, and it turns the camera. You can adjust the settings. I've adjusted it now so that the camera turns really slow, because when it starts out, it's like middle. If you have it turn too fast, basically you do one slide and the camera will go round you about 3 times, like a full circle, and it's just like, whoa, turn that right down. So I turned it down now, so a single slide will turn me maybe about a fifth. So
you kind of have to adjust it to your own personal preference.
Yeah. It is annoying, because it's like, if an enemy's behind me, I have to go like slide, got him. Yeah. But realistically, it's not that bad. My main frustration with it is sometimes you get bombarded, and sometimes you get cornered, especially on ground combat. You get cornered and you just get hurt. a little bit too harshly. Like, you'll get smashed into and you'll go flying up into the air and you'll land, and then you'll get up but you'll get hit again. And it doesn't happen all the time, but it's like one of those things that just frustrates me. Another thing is, to make the difficulty harder than normal or easier than normal, you have to gamble hearts, which is essentially your currency. And I enjoy it. I always go for challenging difficulty, because standard, you don't gamble any hearts for standard. Standard is like you can play without gambling anything, and that's the standard difficulty. I go for 2 settings higher than that, like level 4, and it is good. I like the challenge. I find that naturally something that will be fun. That's like my default. Because what happens as well is, when you start playing, depending on the difficulty at which you beat the previous stage, depends on the difficulty of the next one. So it's like, I beat the first stage, let's say, on standard difficulty. The next stage will automatically sort of set the difficulty to the next difficulty up, like 3.
Okay.
And I did that for a while. Like, the first stage I did 2, second stage I did 3, third stage I did 4, and then it was 5, and then I died. I was just like, well, I'm not doing that again, I'll go back down to 4. And I stayed on 4 for ages, and I've been on 4 for a while. But there's nothing more annoying, because when you die, the difficulty gets easier, but you lose the hearts that you gambled.
Yeah.
The hearts that you gambled to get to that position, you lose them. So it's like, oh no. And it is so annoying when you die, because you get the hearts gambled. I do believe that if you were... It should give you the choice. It should say... I mean, okay, this is probably making the game a little bit too easy, but it should be like, okay, you die, you can either choose to continue, and as you were, same difficulty, same everything, and try again, or you can choose to continue with a lower setting that will cost you hearts. Because there is nothing harsher than going through... This has happened to me twice now, and I was playing through a level before and I died like 3 times consecutively on 3 different difficulties. I started out on 4, it went down to 3, then it went down to 2, and I still died. And it just got worse and worse. I'm like, forget it, no, I'm not gambling anymore. But, yeah, this happened to me twice now, where I've literally gone through the entire level. Air combat has been a breeze on challenging. The ground combat has been tough, but manageable. And then I get to the boss, and the boss just becomes this impossible thing. Like, it will move around you, so you have to swivel around to try and shoot it. And then by the time you lock onto it, it's charged up some mega blast that knocks out 1/3 of your health, and you're just like, well, this is fair.
And that's probably where the Circle Pad Pro would help.
Yeah, this is probably where that would help, but to be honest, it's like, you can't just call the game unplayable because bosses are made a little bit harder. But it just annoys me, because then it goes, oh, game over. Sorry, you have to lose out on the treasure you got, lose out on the hearts, go and get an easier difficulty, and I'm just sort of like, that's a bit harsh. I went through the entire level surviving, literally didn't get hit on the air combat, managed to maintain my life on the ground combat. You can't just simply say, oh, bye, you failed on the boss, which, by the way, does not seem to get any easier no matter which setting you set it on. I think I needed to have had different weapons, because different weapons have different effects on you, like they'll up your defense and such. So I think, because I was just getting owned by this boss, and if you've played Kid Icarus and you want to know what boss I'm up to, it's the I don't know if it is the end of stage boss. It's Dark Pit and the Lunar Sanctum thing. And I kill one, because I've got to kill both of them, and both of them are attacking me. I kill one, and I get killed by the other one, because the first one has just wiped out my health. But I have to kill them both at the same time. They're both fighting me at the same time. It's not like kill one, then kill the other one. No, it's like I have to kill them both at the same time, and no matter which one I choose, I always just get killed by the other one. And it just frustrates me, because it's like challenging difficulty, failed. Tougher difficulty, failed. Standard difficulty, failed. And after that, I just went, nope, bye. I don't care. It took me like half an hour to do that level. I'm just coming off because I'm done.
Well, my Kid Icarus experience is pretty limited, to be honest. But I played the air combat, which is really good. I played that at some event. I can't remember which one. It was on like a 3DS XL or whatever.
Oh, was that the yeah? I think
I can't remember where that was now.
That was at MCM, I think.
Was it? About a year ago, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was relatively new at the time. So I played it. The air combat is really good. It's almost like, it kind of reminds me a little bit of like Lilac Wars.
Star Fox, yeah.
Sort of, yeah. Star Fox 4.
This is something that's also worried me. Sorry to interrupt, but this is something that's also worried me. With Kid Icarus going the way it is, I'm just sort of worried that Nintendo are going to consider him the new sort of on the rails shooter type game, and I'm just sort of like, that belongs to Star Fox, so please don't.
Well, I don't know.
Anyway, go on.
What did I say?
You were saying like how your experience with Kid Icarus is limited.
Oh yeah, so anyway, my experience with Kid Icarus basically is just playing that at an event, which is good. But I have played the ground stuff, but I played it on like multiplayer with a Street Pass event, and it was rubbish in my opinion. It was just rubbish.
Yeah.
I couldn't, for a start, to be fair, I couldn't get into it because I was playing this guy in multiplayer, and he was just annihilating me. And we played for about, I don't know, about 4 minutes, but he was just annihilating me constantly because he was obviously an expert and I would never played the game before. And this guy was just showing no mercy at all. And I never really got the chance to all I was trying to do, I wasn't even trying to beat him, I was just trying to control the game. Like, let's see if I can control Pit to do something, anything at all. This guy was just obviously destroying me. So I never really got the chance. But what the bit I did play was just, I couldn't control it. It's just a bit of a mess, really.
Yeah.
I was obviously trying to use the, circle pad, and you've got it wasn't the circle pad pro, just the circle pad itself, and the touch screen to just make him, position the camera, I suppose. But I only played it for that bit, and I was just put off, really. I didn't really want to play that again.
With my experience of ground combat, I cannot imagine I will ever do multiplayer, and the reason why is because it'll be hard against human foes. Against human targets who are moving around, dashing everywhere.
Yeah, it's just,
you're gonna struggle.
Yeah, really.
I would actually say, yeah, you would need the Circle Pad Pro for that because then at least it would be.
I think that guy who played did have a Circle Pad Pro as well. That guy was a maniac.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know if you mentioned it just now, but that thing you just mentioned was a contest. It was like we took part in a competition.
Yeah, it was technically a competition.
It was like
there was a prize up for grabs, but this guy was just going, unless I was going to make some ridiculous comeback in the last minute, he was making sure that wasn't going to happen. Like I was hustling him or something.
Yeah, but the thing is, and I know you're probably thinking, listeners out there going, why would you take part in a Kid Icarus tournament if you never played the game before? So, well, the thing is, there were like 19. Oh no, there was 15.
An odd number.
It was 15 people who were down for it, and the guy who was running the contest was like, "Oh, come on, one more.
We need one more," and no one was doing it.
And no one was doing it, so you step forward,
just to give someone a bye, basically.
Yeah.
This guy annihilated me, absolutely annihilated me. I was just like, "What are you doing?"
And yeah, Circle Pad Pro, and that's the thing. It was, as I say, it was part of a contest. It was part of like a competition, and that's completely fair. That's like, oh, well, I just had the tools. It's like, yeah, well, okay. Yeah, a runner who takes steroids just has the tools.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm not that bothered, but it was just, I just found it. I sometimes come across people like that who are just
merciless.
I don't know. It's just like I don't really play for the competition. I just sort of play for the sake of playing, really.
Yeah.
So when people start getting a little too into it, just with ultra competition, because he'd won after a minute and yet still proceeded to annihilate me.
Yeah.
And you just come across people like that. I mean, if I'm winning in a game against someone, and it starts getting silly, I'll just sort of give him a chance, really. There's no need. But you do come across these people. Unfortunately.
I've pretty much spent on Kid Icarus now. That's my main talk about it. So what games are you playing?
Animal Crossing, New Leaf, which I've been trying to play as much as possible because I've only just got my house. I got it today. Did I get it today? Yeah, today. I got my house this morning.
You bought it yesterday, but he was like, "Oh,
yeah." He's like, "Oh, it'll be built tomorrow." So today I got my house. Thanks, Nook.
What Just to clarify, he's been wanting to buy it. We've been wanting, yeah.
Yeah, I've been wanting to buy this house for ages. Because I work, I have a job. So I get back, and by the time I get to him, he's shut up shop. So I can't get in the place to buy my house. So he's like, oh no, come back tomorrow at 10. Oh, well, I'm at work at 10, Nook. What are you playing at? Well, he shuts his door at 8. By the time I get to it, he's gone. So yesterday, I got up yesterday. I was playing it about 9 o'clock in the morning, and he's still shut. He opens at 10. Just not having a good time with Nook. Anyway, I went on it yesterday. When he was open, bought my house. So I now have a house with a blue roof. And it's lovely.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I've got my house. And generally just playing that. Just, usual Animal Crossing stuff. Just running around.
Yeah.
Terrorising villagers. Catching bugs. I've got a fishing rod now. Digging holes. Making a mess. Haven't played it online yet. I don't actually know how, to be honest. You open your train gates at some point.
Yeah.
And then obviously...
Is it a train gate?
Well, yeah, it's like a train station. You open your gates and I think people can just wander in. I don't really know how
I have been seeing... Because this event that we went to when we played Kid Icarus, right? It was like a street pass event and we went to it, and I followed a few people on Twitter after the fact. And they have been pretty much, and on Facebook as well, all week, for the past 2 weeks, they've just been saying gates open, come on in.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it, to be honest. I mean, I think you open your gates, but I was talking to the monkey at the station, and he was like, if you open your gates, some randomers might come in, and I'm like, well, I don't want some randomers coming in and just chopping my trees down and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, what do? Do I open the gate or not? I don't know. Obviously, do you have to register people? Obviously, or does it just take it from your friend list?
I would just be locking the doors. I'd never let anyone.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know.
Town.
I don't really know how it works. I'll figure it out. But at the moment, I've only just got my house, and that's the biggest milestone of all time, really. And I finally got to meet the Able sisters as well.
The Able sisters, yeah, because
they're always closed when I get on the game. I know you can change it so it's ordinance or whatever, so your shop's open later.
Yeah.
But I think you need to unlock that, doing stuff at the town hall, which I haven't done yet. You need to get an approval rating of 100%, and I think I have to talk to people for that to happen. And I'd rather just run around catching bugs and stuff. That's essentially all I've done in Animal Crossing. I've not played it a great deal, but it's not it's not the kind of game where you really play for long stretches.
Yeah, I know.
I quite like it because I literally have it. I downloaded it, by the way.
Yeah.
So I have it on the card at all times. So basically, my 3DS is, for the foreseeable future, is basically just the Fire Emblem Awakening cartridge and Animal Crossing. And every time I go on the 3DS, pretty much, I jump into Animal Crossing for a little bit, swan around in my village for a bit, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And then I can just exit and play Fire Emblem. And it's just yeah, that's how things should be, really. But I look at my friends list, and it's just everyone online, everyone playing Animal Crossing, and just me playing Fire Emblem Awakening, really.
Yeah.
Because, don't get me wrong, Animal Crossing's great, but Fire Emblem is actual, it's an actual game, it's something you want to progress in, whereas Animal Crossing, you're just really just collecting stuff.
Yeah. Animal Crossing is, realistically, it's quite a evil game, in the sense that it gets you. It's like one of those games where you're just I must play this.
Yeah.
I love it. But it's you think about what is ahead of you, and you just sort of there's nothing. I will play this game to the end of my days.
For no reason. For no reason. I know, it's the uncompletable game. But I think there's some people who have racked up hours. I looked at it this morning, I've racked up 6 hours, which is nothing compared to some people.
Yeah. Who
have been on it all day, every day. It's to be honest, I like Animal Crossing, but it's not a game that I can play for long periods.
Oh yeah,
after about half an hour, I'm I'm kind of done for this session.
My experience of Animal Crossing is, and I've played pretty much every Animal Crossing to date, apart from City.
I don't think we had the Wii one, did we?
We didn't have City, but
I wasn't. And the thing is, I'm more interested in the portable ones.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of it, because I think we had it on the GameCube, and
the only GameCube that was good.
It's fine. It's a good game, but it's just with it being on a portable, you can just play it whenever you want. Whereas home consoles, you have to do the lumbering task of plugging it in and turning it on and turning the television on. I mean, it's ridiculous. But obviously when you got it on a portable, you just go, do, I'm in the game. It's even better when you've got it on digital and you can just go straight into it.
Yeah, it's like no switching games around.
Yeah, you don't have to mess around. And it's the kind of game that works as a digital download. I'm not a massive fan of getting digital games, but the games like that, I can say, yeah, that's what you want. I mean, I went out this morning for a little bit when I woke up just to mess about, just to see my house. I go, I got the house. And whatever her name is, Joan is walking around selling turnips. So I met her. She's like, oh, no one's been buying turnips for 30 years, but they're really good. It's like, well, what are people doing with these turnips? No one questions what she's doing with these turnips. Thing is, she sells these turnips and goes, yes, you can sell them on the stock market for more profit. Right, I am absolutely certain that there is something underhand going on here. If you buy turnips, you are funding the criminal underworld in Animal Crossing. There is something going on. And this has been going on for years now. This has been like since the GameCube Animal Crossing. She's been swanning in, selling her turnips, and people just eat it up. It's like, oh yeah, take the turnips, sell them at the shop. Oh yeah, you're funding the mafia, the Animal Crossing mafia.
The drug cartel.
Yeah, there's something in these turnips. Does anyone ever eat the turnips? No, they just sell the turnips. There's something in it.
What makes red turnips so amazing?
Oh well, that's just a whole new ball game. Yeah. It's dodgy. It's dodgy. I'm not getting involved. Because, I mean, honestly, it's like...
You sell the red turnips and you get money and you're like going, it's blood money!
Yeah, I'm not getting involved in this. She's like, oh, do you want to buy some turnips for 99 bells? Like, not a chance, Joan. Not getting involved. Because I haven't met the dogs yet in this game, whatever they're called.
The guards.
Yeah, I've not met them, but... what are they doing? Surely it's their job to, look into this, and it's been going on for 4 games. Well, who's the police in Animal Crossing?
Well, they were the police in the original GameCube.
Yeah, they were, weren't they? And now they've been demoted to just the gatekeepers.
Oh, they demoted. Also, they were demoted. But it's just that when Animal Crossing went online, they just became the gatekeepers.
Yeah, but now the monkey's doing that.
Oh, right. So
I don't know what they're doing. Well, they're not looking into this turnips.
One's called Brooker.
Which needs to be done.
One's called Booker, isn't he?
Booker and... yeah. Oh, what are their names? I don't know. Everyone's sort of screaming now.
But... I just got this image when you were going on about the drug cartel and that. I just got this image in my head of your Animal Crossing town being what's it called? Sanford from Hot Fuzz, and Tom Nook is Frank Rutherford, just well, we had to get rid of Betty for the greater.
Yeah, and this is it. Random animals, just random.
Yeah, they vanish.
They just leave the town, do they? They just disappear. There's something going on.
A signpost in their stead going, oh, this is a available spot for houses.
This is, honestly, I don't know what it is, but I intend to find out.
And you get random letters, and it's just sort of it just says, oh, I was thinking about moving away. I want to thank you for being a really good friend to me. There's blood smeared at the bottom.
Yeah, it's Kiki? Kiki! You never find them again. They never turn up. They're never seen again. But yeah, I think Joan is clearly a criminal mastermind. And whatever's in these turnips that nobody's eating, she's just the way she goes, oh, no one's been eating turnips for 30 years. And you're like, well, how are you still in business then? Quite clearly, you're a criminal. Yeah. Well, I intend to find out what she's up to. Yeah. But you only ever see her on Sunday mornings.
When was it the creator of Animal Crossing came out and just went, why is everyone saying Tom Nook's the bad guy?
Mainly because he's just a money hoarding git.
Well, yeah. It's he sets you up, he gives you a house and everything, and then it's just and then just hangs a debt over your head.
Yeah, he does, and doesn't tell you anything about it. He goes, oh yeah, I'll get you a house. Yeah, 10,000 bells. Yeah, just give me that and I'll do it you. Oh right, here's the bill. It's what? I didn't agree to this. Where's my signature, Nook? Oh, you will pay. Yeah. It's
like in the original games, it was, oh, you have just recently moved in. You want a house? Well, there's your house, but you got to work for me.
Yeah.
What? Hang on, we'll go plant these flowers. Do it now. All right, I'll go plant these flowers. Now make this delivery.
Yeah.
Do it now. Okay. Did I get employed by this guy?
Apparently so. He's obviously...
No, employment requires a wage.
Yeah.
Oh, right, I see how it is.
So I'm your slave.
Basically. I'm your slave. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what that to me is the storyline of Animal Crossing that no one knows about, and
if I did an Animal Crossing movie, that's what I'd do.
That's what I would do. If I ever make that movie, that's what it's going to be. But obviously, so yeah, I'm playing Animal Crossing, and as I just mentioned, I'm playing Fire Emblem Awakening. Well, I haven't progressed very far in Awakening because I haven't had much time to play games, and also when I actually finally got time to play games, I decided to play a new game, which is on the Wii U, and it's Lego City Undercover.
Yay!
And
you got it years ago.
Yeah, I got it for my birthday, which was I started this month actually, so it's not that long.
Yeah.
But I started playing that because I've wanted to play it for a while, and the thing about Lego City Undercover is it's really, really good. It's brilliant. Like, I've only played maybe 2 hours of it now, and it's brilliant. It's funny. It's just good. It's just alright. The loading times are crazy, but it is really funny and good. And the thing is, ages ago when I bought Monster Hunter, I was debating whether to get Lego or Monster Hunter, and I went with Monster Hunter in the end. And now I've played Lego, I'm like, why did you pick Monster Hunter?
Well, yeah.
It's just like,
it was the cult status of Monster Hunter that lured you in.
Yeah, a lot of people were going on about it at the time, and
it was pretty much wall
I kind of
to wall.
I just crumbled to peer pressure.
The effect that Animal Crossing has had on like the populace of games, it was that with Monster Hunter.
Yeah,
it was like people going, "Hey, I'm online. Anyone want to go fight some monsters?" It's like,
and the thing is, as well, it was the only Wii U game that had come out really.
Yeah.
So everyone was just like, a Wii U game, I'm buying it. You know, you could have brought anything out and someone would have bought it. Not that Monster Hunter's bad, but by the way, I've pretty much quit it now. I'm not gonna play it again. Not that I don't like it. It's just
you don't want games to be a chore. That's the point.
Yeah, it's too long-winded, and I'm not actually achieving anything in it.
If ever you get the feeling of, I don't really feel like playing that game anymore because, I'm feeling, if ever you have doubts as whether or not to pick up and play a game, that's the sign to not play the game anymore and just play something else.
I mean, with me,
you don't want the game
to be fair, Fire Emblem Awakening killed it for me because I would always have the choice of, okay, well, I could play some Monster Hunter or I could play some Fire Emblem, and it was always Fire Emblem because it's Fire Emblem. It's one of the best games ever. And I'm not going to choose Monster Hunter over that. Oh, I'm not going to chase around this monster with a big rock on its tail and hack its legs for 50 minutes when I could be completing 2 maps on Fire Emblem. I'm not doing that. So I've kind of, well, I always say this when I leave a game. I always go like, well, I'll come back to that. I'll never go back to that, I can guarantee. It's just like,
you changed.
My backlog is far too big for me to be wasting time on it now. I mean, to be fair, I might have a go on it if someone says, "Oh, do you fancy playing online?" Because I've never played Monster Hunter online, you see.
Yeah.
So if someone says, "Oh, do you fancy playing online?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll give it a go just to sort of play." But it's not a game that I'll be getting into. I was into it for a little bit, like upping my armour and stuff and collecting stuff. But I've reached the point now because I got all the way. I beat the laddie
Icarus.
Jeff. I beat Jeff, and then it goes, oh, by the way, it turns out Jeff wasn't the bad guy. It was, I don't even know. It's like, oh, something else is going on. Go to the volcano. So I'll go to the volcano, and I just did a few missions. But now I'm fighting that thing with the rock on its tail, and I don't really care. It's just like, oh. And I can't upgrade my weapons anymore because I need to get resources from that monster to get the upgrades. And it's like, well, I just can't be bothered.
But anyway, Lego City.
Lego City, though, is really good. It's funny. It's just plays pretty well.
It's your first Lego game.
It is my first Lego game, actually.
Technically. It's not like you've just gone, oh, Lego games.
I've dabbled in Lego games, but I've never really played them. The only ones I can actually remember playing a bit of is Star Wars on the PS2. The Lego Star Wars, obviously. And but since then, there's been so many Lego games that I've not played. And some things that I want to play, like there's Batman. Lego Batman 2, technically, the DC Universe one.
The one that I've got on the
there's so many good ones. Like there's Indiana Jones. I don't know if that's any good or not. The Star Wars ones. But this one appeals to me a bit more because it's not a franchise. Well, it is in a way. It's Lego City, which is a franchise technically.
Yeah, but there's no characters.
Yeah, there's no Batman in this. It's a new character to me. This Chase McCain guy is completely new to me.
I think he's a new character.
I don't know anything about Chase McCain. But apparently everyone else in the city is like, "You're a legend, Chase McCain." Yeah. But I just think it's funny. It's just brilliant. Like, alright, some of the humour is properly cheesy and a bit rubbish, but
the humour is like two extremes. either... Well, there's a lot of extremes. It's either very clever, filled with references.
Yeah, it's like... I just recently did the prison bit. And if anyone's ever played it, you know the Shawshank.
The Shawshank Redemption references all over it. It's just hilarious.
The guy's called Blue that you're contacting. And it's just a good game. It's just one of those games that I actually want to play. And I came off it the other night because I was literally falling asleep. Not because the game was bad, but I was literally just falling asleep and thought, I can't play it anymore, I have to come off. But even though I wanted to carry on, I was like, I'm going to have to just bail on this because I'm actually falling asleep. But I played it last night for a good session and pretty much... I played it like into the early hours of the morning, actually. It was not...
But there's also physical humour. Like the whole, I'll meet you inside.
Yeah, and he's
like right really there. Close to his face. He just like goes, okay.
Yeah, it's just funny. Yeah. Just generally a good game, and if you've not played it and you have a Wii U, then you really should have it because it's one of the better ones on the Wii U.
And no disrespect to the Americans, but there's that comedy that's sort of tailored to them. There's like British humour and like the whole. Are you here on business or pleasure? Maybe neither, maybe both. No, I need to tick the boxes.
Yeah.
That's just like one of the funny little gags that's thrown in there.
Yeah.
And then there's the American stuff. Like, I think Honey is a little bit too dumb.
Yeah, Frank Honey is...
Like your sidekick.
Your dumb sidekick, essentially.
He's alright, and the thing is, he started out okay, but now he's just like... He's essentially like the complete idiot.
Yeah, there's this running joke where he keeps saying like computer and...
Computer.
It's just like that, that's not funny. It was funny the first time.
It wasn't funny. It wasn't funny the first time or something like that.
But it's just generally a good game.
Sometimes he'll say something funny like, he'll say, I'll race you there, and it's just down the road, and then like he'll call you like 2 minutes later just going, I've gotten lost.
Yeah.
So that's alright.
It's good, and it uses the gamepad quite well. It basically uses a phone, and you can scan things and stuff. And
yeah.
Generally... just a good game.
Something I've not really liked when it comes to Wii U games is the holding it up to the screen.
Yeah.
I don't mind it, but it's just like there's a limit to what you can do. It's not. I mean, it utilises kind of like panoramic views. Like if I was to stand up in the middle of the room, hold up the gamepad, and turn in a circle, it would like scan the surroundings of the game. Yeah. But if I'm sat down, I'm like going.
Yeah.
I can only turn so far in one direction and
practically
the
got
other.
90 degrees sort of. Haven't you?
Exactly, but what game was it where that happened?
Zombie U, maybe.
Was it Zombie? I think it was Zombie U. Yeah.
I've only played a little bit of Zombie U, and from what I played of the scanning bit in Zombie U, the Lego one is probably a bit better, scanning wise.
That's fair enough.
I'm not a massive fan of Zombie U. I prefer Lego by far.
You haven't played Zombie U properly.
Not properly.
I like Zombie U. It's a good game.
Yeah, it's alright. I'm not dissing Zombie U at all, really. I just prefer to play games like Lego, really.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what I've been playing this week.
Yeah.
Animal Crossing and Lego and a bit of Fire Emblem Awakening to top it up.
Just a thought on Animal Crossing, I was going to say. It's like, yeah, you can't really play it for stints, because you did say, like, I can only really play it for a certain length of time. Yeah. I find that when you first start an Animal Crossing game, there is a lot to do. There's a lot to sort of go on to, but then after about maybe a month's worth of playing, it really starts to get, I'll play it for like 5 minutes, and it is literally 5 minutes. You get up, you go and see what Tom Nook's selling, you go and see how everyone in your town is, you go to, you go digging up any fossils that may be appearing, and then after that, or catch bugs, and then after that it's like, well, I'm done. And you go back home. Now, obviously, 5 minutes may have been a bit of an exaggeration, but yeah, it's not exactly a lengthy playthrough. No.
It's always like that, though, with Animal Crossing. Like you say, at the start, you'll play it for a while, but as time goes on, it's not a game that you'll play for long periods of time. Yeah. But that's pretty much what I've been playing. So shall we move on to the news or something, or whatever that's going on?
Let's move on to the first bit of news,
which is
the biggest piece of news I think this week. Microsoft did a U-turn.
Oh, that is the big news of the week, to be fair.
Even though, here's the thing, right? We and you were discussing this. This podcast was meant to be games that we enjoy, i.e. like Nintendo orientated stuff, because we're Nintendo fans and we love them, and but we end up talking about Microsoft and Sony a lot.
As you say before, we've kind of started doing this as the E3's on.
Yeah.
So it's unavoidable things.
Yeah, we can't just sort of say, so Nintendo did this. It's
so
like,
we can't.
What about everything else?
Yeah, exactly. So we have to sort of like at least acknowledge that that's happened. And I think Xbox doing a U-turn is certainly worth acknowledging because I personally think it's a good thing. Obviously it's a good thing, but it means that it's not just in terms of Sony versus Microsoft. It's not just a one-horse race anymore.
Yeah.
Microsoft are actually in it now. They're actually in the race. I still think the PlayStation 4 is better positioned, better placed, but now Microsoft can actually give it a go. So,
well, this is the thing, right? As soon as I heard this news, I laughed because I just looked at Sony and I looked at all the people who were like going, "Oh, Sony won E3." And I just sort of said, "Really?"
Well, Sony have unfortunately spent most of their E3 saying we're not Xbox, and now they kind of are because Xbox has done a U-turn. So everything that Sony said at E3 is now obviously nullified.
Well, not only that, but as you said, Microsoft are now back in the races.
Yeah.
But to the extent that Sony essentially wasted their E3.
Yeah, they should have just.
They, as you said, they kicked the ball into the open net. But to me, they kicked the ball into the open net and didn't realise that the game wasn't over yet.
Yeah, this is the thing. If you look at the conferences now, and I think I said last week, Microsoft had a better conference because they just showed lower games and showed better content, I thought. And PlayStation didn't show all that much engaging stuff, whereas Microsoft did. And in my opinion, if I'm given the choice between the two, I would get a PlayStation 4 probably, based on a lot of factors. But in terms of games, I actually think Microsoft have a better selection actually in terms of exclusives and stuff. I think Microsoft probably just edges it right now. I mean, this is like right now; it might change, but given the choice, I would probably get. Microsoft have the better games, I would say, but I still have ended up getting a PlayStation 4 just because the price is about right and everything I want is on it. But the thing is, am I interested in getting one of those consoles? Yes, but not in the near future. They're going to come out at the end of this year. I'm not going to get one.
Yeah.
Mainly because I have a PlayStation 3 and I've got quite a backlog for it. I can survive with the PlayStation 3 for quite a considerable amount of time. I don't really need a PS4. So when I see them saying, "Oh, you can get Watch Dogs on PS4," I'm like, yeah, so it's on PlayStation 3 as well. But I'll probably get it on Wii U anyway. But yeah, it's just there's nothing about those consoles that's going to make me fork out close to £400 on them. Not this time, no way. I mean, maybe in 2014, but even then it'd be towards the end of it. You're probably looking at, realistically, I could even be buying it in 2015, really, because I have a Wii U, and that's pretty much going to keep me going for ages. Because the games that are coming out of the Wii U, the end of this year and the start of the following year, that's more than enough for me. Because obviously you've got Pikmin 3 is coming out.
Pikmin 3, Mario World,
like Super Mario 3D World, Land,
yeah,
3D. Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze returns. Why can't Nintendo name things like that I can understand?
They are, but it's just like they need.
The thing is, I could get by with New Super Mario Brothers. When I start talking about Super Mario 3D World,
is that what you want?
It's like, yeah, I just go Super Mario World 3D. No, wait, 3D World, Mario 3D World, Mario Land 3D World. I'm just out of a clue. I just go that new Mario. And
Cat Mario, is it?
Cat Mario, yeah. So there's that going out at the end of the year, and then obviously there's Mario Kart, and then there's Smash Brothers, and it's just like, well, that's me for about a year easily. But Wonderful 101.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when Microsoft obviously announced this news, and I was just saying, because as I say, Sony wasted their conference because they didn't, because basically they knew how easy, given what Microsoft had done. They knew how easy it was going to be to pretty much just say, well, okay. Essentially, they were like, well, we're the default console. We don't have to try, and we'll get it. But the point is, you should have tried, guys. Yeah. You really should have, because now that Microsoft have done this, there is zero incentive for me to pick up your console. Yeah. I probably will, but at the same time, it's just like, in terms of a competitive standpoint, you're on level terms. The only thing you're excelling at is price. And I told you about this guy. I tweeted. Well, as soon as I heard the news, I tweeted like, Sony are in trouble. Bet you wish you actually tried now, don't you, Sony? And some guy who I don't know responded, and he was just like, "Why are you saying this? Because there's loads of reasons to get the PlayStation 4 over the Xbox One. You've got price. You've got price." He said, "You got price. You got more power. It's smaller, and it's got games, right?" Those were his reasons. Those were his main reasons, right? The biggest reason that he mentioned was obviously the first one, price.
Yeah.
Sony are ahead in that department by a way. That will dictate who gets their console, right? But sometimes price may not be enough. I mean, I know I said just based on the fact that it's the cheapest, people are going to buy it. But if you think about it, is that always the case? Because some people will go, "Oh, I could buy this cheap TV, or I could buy this really expensive one." Well, this really expensive TV must be better because it's more expensive, so I'll get that for an extra £100.
Yeah.
So it might not just sway it, but at the same time, yeah, you're going to win a lot of consumers over with the price. Secondly, most powerful. Now, this is where it starts getting a little away from fact and starts going into a little bit of up in the air debatable.
Yeah, but the thing is, it might be more powerful, but it's reached the point now where you won't notice anyway. Can you tell the difference between a PS3 power? Is the PS3 more powerful than the Xbox 360?
I think so, yeah.
To me, I don't notice. It's the same thing. I don't stand there with a magnifying glass checking how many pixels are on the screen. I just sort of just go, well, it looks kind of the same to me. Well, this is from a person who can't tell the difference between PS4 and PS3, to be fair. So, but it's power-wise, it's debatable, I suppose, and I think games-wise, it's also debatable. I suppose it depends what you like. I personally think Xbox has better.
Well, he said games. The guy said games, and it was just sort of like, well, you've got Final Fantasy and you've got Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
But realistically, what other exclusives did you show off and actually go into detail about? Because you kind of just gave us trailer without going into anything. Because that's the thing that got me. I got whiplash by the way they changed trailers constantly. It was like we got one trailer and it would end, and then it suddenly switched gear and go into Gran Turismo, and then it would switch gear again and go into Knack, and it's just sort of like, guys, this is not how you make a conference. I remember this happened this is like the first 10 minutes maybe of the whole conference, and I was like, immediately after that I was like going, well, okay, I haven't seen the whole conference yet, but are people really saying that this is the best? Because this is clustered.
And they spent a lot of time on third-party games as well that are just on multi-platform.
But so in terms of games, personally, I think that the Xbox has more appealing exclusive games.
Yeah.
Sony has games that are designed to show off how good the PlayStation 4 looks. And like that Dark Sorcerer, for example. Oh, it looks good. What is it?
No idea what it is.
You have lost me on that.
That was a waste. That
was a real waste.
And the thing is, Final Fantasy is a big exclusive to have for any console, but Final Fantasy is not what it used to be, and it's not an automatic hit anymore.
Yeah.
It's just Final Fantasy. There's a lot of people out there going, "Oh, day one." But for me, it's I'm gonna have to see a few reviews before I get that game, because with Final Fantasy now, it's hit and miss. It used to be a guaranteed hit. Final Fantasy was going to be a great game, but now it's just well, it might not be. So let's not get excited, and let's not... Because to me, that trailer was terrible at E3. The game might be fantastic, but that trailer was awful. I don't know who put that trailer together, but it needs to be sorted out. And as for Kingdom Hearts... Is that on Xbox anyway?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But this guy, we've discussed 3 of the points that the guy said, but the guy also pointed out smaller.
Oh, Sony PlayStation 4 is small.
You're scraping the barrel when the size is considered considered a main selling point.
Yeah.
The size it's not even supplemental. It's so far down the chain that it's not even there. For example, the Wii Mini came out, right? Just before the Wii U came out, remember it?
Yeah.
Would I buy that Would I buy that console because it's smaller?
It's not
Well,
even
no.
small.
What?
It's not even smaller, I don't think.
Yeah, but all it does is play games.
Yeah, it's
all it does
console.
is that. It does nothing else. Which, I mean, okay, I'm being very hypocritical here, going, oh, we want a console that plays
I think
games.
like,
and we don't want anything else.
it's a collector's item and a sort of like a fashion accessory, the Wii Mini.
Yeah, but it's like some of the things that make the Wii aren't a part of it, and it's just sort of like, well, I'm not going to buy that console. It's like, would I have bought a Game Boy Micro after I'd bought the Game Boy Advance SP? Well, the reason I bought the Game Boy Advance SP was because it was such a huge step forward from the Game Boy Advance. Kind of like how I bought a DS Lite after buying a DS. It was a huge step forward. It was worth getting the upgrade.
Yeah.
But the Game Boy Micro...
Game Boy Micro was designed specifically for certain consumers, I think.
Yeah, and it was a nice little piece of kit.
I liked it, but no one's going to spend money on it.
Exactly. And see, so to me, size has never been a big selling point for anything.
It's a console, isn't it? I mean, the Xbox has always been a big one, but
I
think the thing as well, the price is the biggest issue, obviously, and it's a big issue in the UK where it's ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you think the difference in the US is bad, the UK is really bad, and considering they need this market, I don't know why they're doing that. They'll probably change that, I would imagine. But
well, they're on a U-turn streak, I guess.
Well, yeah. But the thing is, everyone's complaining now. The new complaint is, oh, you're giving us a Kinect that no one wants. That's essentially what you're paying for. A lot of what you're paying for with the Xbox One Extra is the Kinect. I know you don't know who wants the Kinect, but it's like I think you'll find that people actually do want the Kinect. I mean, hardcore gamers who are really interested in the gaming industry and those who watched E3 probably don't want the Kinect. Fair enough. But the consumers out there, the normal consumers who pretty much make up all your profits, they do want the Kinect and they are interested in the Kinect. And the Kinect is a big selling point. And people can bash it all they like. I don't like it either. But people will pay money for the Kinect, as was proven when they brought it out. Kinect has been a success for Microsoft. It has. So it makes total sense for them to put it in the Xbox One. And people can complain all they want, but it's something that people will want and people will buy into. So that's why they put it in there, and that's why you're paying extra. But they'll make the money on that eventually in the long run. But I think Xbox also has better, it's more future-proof than Sony's PS4.
Yeah, you were discussing this.
I was just going to say that because Xbox has almost jumped the gun by doing all this online stuff. Basically, all that's going to happen in the future. Everything's going to be online. Like all the things the games you'll buy, they'll all be downloaded, and it's already moving towards that now. But it's not obviously there yet, is it? People are still buying retail games, and that's pretty much the future for a few years. But the thing is, when you bring out a new console, you're all in pretty much for about 6 years minimum. And Xbox has sort of said, well, Xbox looks like a long game console. Like, in 6 years' time, we've got an infrastructure to adapt to the market. Xbox has that. I don't see that with PlayStation 4. I see a console that's good for now. I don't see a console that's good for 5 years' time.
Yeah, that's another thing as well. Ironically, people just to clarify one other point before I go any further as well. If you're not sure what we're talking about when we say Microsoft U-turn, all this talk about not using used games and so on and so forth, and DRM and all that, it's gone. They've ditched it. If you're not sure what we're talking about,
if you didn't know by now.
If you didn't know by now, but it's just the fact that we're using the term U-turn, you see, and it pretty much means they're going completely back on what they've said because they know how much of a torpedo it's going to do to their company.
Yeah.
But the thing that gets me about this current generation of consoles, before E3, before the PlayStation 4 was announced, before the Xbox One was announced, we had games developers and everyone just going, "Oh, I'd rather wait for the next generation," because the Wii U isn't a part of the next generation.
Oh, yeah.
I'd rather wait for that, right? And I just look at this next gen now, and I just think, ironically, people have said, "Oh, the Wii U is just the Wii upgrade, the Wii update." The U stands for upgrade and update and so on and so forth. And it's just like, yeah, but to be honest, does it? Because the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, ironically, are more updates and upgrades than actual new consoles.
Well,
they are.
Because you get
same controller type, same sort of visuals, same type of games.
It's like
it's hardly the next generation. It's more of an upgrade.
Yeah.
Whereas the Wii U, all right, its graphics may not be exactly well, it's finally gone into HD, which is a huge step forward for Nintendo, but obviously it's kind of just...
That was what we've been up for.
Yeah, we've had that for a while in games. But its control style and its sort of USPs are vastly superior to what was around
it. It does have some pretty good USPs. I think also Nintendo obviously adapting to the market in the case of, well, the Wii U will suit living rooms, the modern day sort of future living rooms that we're sort of seeing, and the Wii U is quite happy with that. And the Wii U is a family console, so it will sell well to families because it suits the living room of families.
Yeah.
So that's where the Wii U should be looking at and sort of targeting. And it is. I mean, people say family console. It is a family console, but that's not to say that it's like not able to create games for people who are over the age of 15. You know.
Yeah.
And it can, and it does. But
well, it's not that argument I absolutely hate. It's like, oh, Nintendo just make kiddie consoles. Yeah, try and find me a mature game on a Nintendo console.
Nintendo has a lot of universal games.
Well, it's not. Yeah, well, it's not just that, but it's like. They'll like make that argument and then they'll go, oh, well, you know what, funnily enough, Bayonetta 2's coming out. Oh, what? Nintendo shouldn't have Bayonetta 2. No one plays that on that console. They want it on the Xbox.
Yeah,
and it's just sort of like, so basically your argument is Nintendo are nothing but kiddie games, but the moment a mature game comes to them, they don't deserve it.
Yeah.
It's like your argument is...
Well, the Bayonetta argument is flawed anyway. It wouldn't exist without Nintendo, full stop, so just... pointless argument to have Bayonetta. But I think Microsoft's U-turn is a good thing because it puts them back in the running, and we needed another console to challenge Sony, frankly, because letting Sony run away with it is not that good, not healthy for the industry at all.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I'm not a Microsoft fan. I still think the Xbox One is quite dumb. Not as dumb as it was, admittedly. But I'm kind of glad that they have U-turned. Because basically, with the way Sony handled it, and with, as I said in the previous podcast, I think did I say Sony have got the victory, but I don't want them to win. I don't want them to win this console war between them and Xbox.
They were a bit smarmy about it.
They were, and it's just like I'm glad now that Microsoft have U-turned just to shut Sony up because I think it's great. I think it really is truly great. Because they've just put Sony in their place essentially. Yeah.
Well, it just levels it up again, doesn't it? Really, which is good. Because if they'd have carried on, they'd have got battered. But I'm surprised they did a U-turn because it's not like Microsoft to do anything like that. Yeah. They really never listen to anybody usually. So I think credit where it's due. They actually listen to people. But I think it's more to do with the bottom line than actually listening to fans. It's not like, oh, we listen to you guys, we're just doing it for the fans. No, you realise that you were going to sell bugger all and basically went, oh, crap.
You really... I mean, I think pretty much the execs and everyone at the top of Microsoft pretty much wanted the Xbox One, as it was originally, to go forwards. And then, like, the marketers, the stock people, they all came... Like, everyone... who was like in charge of selling this console, in charge of like maybe internet as well, like the people who were like looking online, and they probably just went to the execs and went, look guys, no one is saying anything good about this console. Everyone hates it. We are not going to sell a single one. The stock market's guys coming out and just going, we have lost stock since we announced this console.
I think getting bad press in the gaming press is one thing, but getting bad press in the mainstream media is another. And I think as soon as that started happening, it was, well, we need to make a decision now because we can't let this happen any longer. We can't see bad headlines in places such as, BBC News had one, I think, and it's just like that can't happen. You're not allowed to let that happen. Mainstream newspapers, no, it's not allowed.
Yeah, exactly.
With gaming press, it's like fine. You can say what you want there.
Yeah, it's like slander all over the place.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, that's not where the massive amount of money is. But yeah. I think we should say something about Nintendo. Just bang on about Microsoft.
Yeah.
A few things have happened this week. What's happened? We've got our first free-to-play game has been announced.
Yeah. You know what? I say this all the time. Every time we bring up free-to-play, I always ask the question, what is it?
Well,
I have asked this question a lot. I think it's because I just don't understand the sort of idea of it. I know what a free-to-play game is. It's like it's a game that you sort of, it's like the minimal bare bones version of a game, and if you want extra content, you pay for it.
Yeah, it's one of those marketing buzzwords that's been used mainly to entice people. Because when you hear free-to-play, you think, yeah, I can play it for free, costs me nothing. But obviously, you pay for the extras.
Yeah.
So the first game for Nintendo that they're going to bring out is Steel Diver.
Of all games.
Of all games, it was probably one of the. I don't think if anyone had picked that, well done. Go and put the lottery on. Because I think we. It's not.
It's not Steel Diver.
No,
a lot of people say it's really good.
Yeah, but it's left field is just like, well, what the heck? Because we knew it wasn't going to be a major franchise because they're too tried and tested and they don't want to mess around with them. But
yeah.
Steel Diver is pretty much the perfect game, really, to try and experiment with.
Yeah.
Because that's essentially what this is. It's an experiment. So Steel Divers are great. It could be great. I mean, I don't know what console it's going to be on.
Yeah.
It was on the 3DS when it came out, but it could be on the Wii U eShop as well.
Yeah, it kind of works, doesn't it?
It could be on either, really. It could be on both. But
Nintendo are experimenting a lot with a lot of things.
Yeah.
Recently.
I think free to play is one of those areas that we're going to see because Microsoft have got Killer Instinct as free to play. Not that anyone's going to bother with that. Yeah, let's not talk about Killer Instinct. So Nintendo's sort of first sort of toe in the water really is Steel Diver. That wasn't supposed to be a pun, but there you go. Yeah.
You just can't stop yourself.
No, I can't. Steel Diver, I mean, I've not played it, to be honest. I've never played it. But it looks quite interesting, and when they announced it, it's like, well, it does actually make a whole lot of sense. And I think there are going to be free-to-play games in the future, and I think, to be honest, I think we've probably got our last non-free-to-play Animal Crossing. Because I think the next Animal Crossing adaptation will probably be free-to-play because it just suits the game.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, people are probably going crazy, but that's
that I don't know. That would kind of be in my opinion. That would be kind of bad because it'd be kind of like.
It depends what you get in free to play though, because.
Well, it'd be like, oh, you can buy this with real money. Like instead of buying like an axe or a net with bells, you'd buy it with real money kind of thing.
But if you get an Animal Crossing game that's free to play. But if you bought all the content for that game, it would only cost you a maximum of like £25 to £30. That's the same as just buying the game anyway. So, there's no difference there really. It's like Tank is free to play on the Wii U. I think if you buy everything, it's practically the same price as the retail version. I think it's even less, to be honest. So, I think people see free to play and the additional things that you buy for it as like some sort of demon, when in the end it's actually good for the consumer because you can pick and choose what you buy. So if you don't want a certain element of the game, then you just don't have to have it. Yeah. So you can save money.
Yeah, it does work that way.
So,
well, sometimes the thing that gets people down about games like that is usually the game mechanics. So it's like you can't just like go, oh, I don't want this part of the game mechanics in there.
Yeah.
So it's like it's part of the game itself.
The main problem with free to play is it's exploitable. There are companies out there that will exploit
all
free to
play.
play.
Like this.
The free to play is good if it's done properly. Like I've just said, Animal Crossing could be done quite easily. As like if you bought everything, it would come to the price of the retail game anyway, so it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
But there are companies out there that will really harvest money from people. Like, they'll say, "Oh, it's free to play, yeah," and then, "Oh yeah, keep buying this," and basically you're racking up, and all of a sudden you spent £100 on this game for no reason.
Yeah, well, it will literally be like
it's like DLC on top of all of it, basically. Like, oh, well, you can have this extra gun. It's like honestly, I don't like DLC that much because I just think it's silly sometimes. It's like, oh, you can get this extra skin for £1. It's like, just go away. That's not how DLC should be. It's just silly.
Yeah.
DLC should be something that actually adds something to the game. Like you can't just sell an extra gun on Mass Effect and say, yeah, that's DLC. It's stupid.
Well, I could just see like the likes of EA just sort of bringing out a game that's like 3 levels long.
Yeah. But
really has like 30 levels.
Yeah.
And it will only let you, and you have to pay.
You'll buy them in like packs of 5 or something.
No. EA
one of each or something.
Yeah, it will be like you will pay $5 for every level.
I think that's the main worry for everyone when you mention free to play. It's just like there are companies out there that will exploit.
Oh,
will exploit to the hilt, and unfortunately, that is going to happen.
Yeah,
it's just inevitable. There will be companies that'll just say, "Okay, here's a game. If you buy everything, you're pretty much paying the same as a retail." But at the same time, there's going to be people going, "Oh, we'll just keep bringing out costumes and guns, and they'll keep buying it."
So on the subject of like value for money in terms of DLC and free to play stuff, let's go on to Nintendo and their DLC adventures.
Oh, we just added a big one actually. Super Luigi U's come out.
Super Luigi U, right? Here's the thing: Nintendo, as I was saying a minute ago, Nintendo are experimenting a lot recently. Like they're experimenting with the idea of free to play games. They're experimenting with DLC. And noticing, oh, late to the party again, ha ha ha. It's like, yeah, they may be late to the party, but already they are owning this party. They are not just bringing map packs. They are not just bringing alternative costumes or extra guns. No, they are giving you brand new games using the previous game engine that you've got. The price is a little bit pricey, admittedly. Like, it's not just like, oh, pay £3 and you can get this extra map pack. No, it's like, you pay near enough a full, like,
I think
game
it's £18 over here for the Luigi U. But you're getting like 80 extra levels, and there's like you can play as all these other characters. It's essentially just a whole game.
It's a whole game based around the previous game's model.
It's a whole game.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like... Yeah, this isn't just a few levels that are been tacked on. This is a whole game.
Yeah.
So if it's £18, that's pretty good value.
So much so that it's actually got its own retail release.
Yeah, exactly. So this is actually... This is how DLC should be, basically.
Yeah, this is the effects of DLC, and as I say, Nintendo are experimenting not only with DLC, but they're trying to do what Nintendo always do and push things forward instead of just going, oh well, everyone else is releasing map packs and stuff like that. I guess we'll just do the same. No, Nintendo are actually trying to go places with it. They're trying to fully explore it. Like EGA, I can't pronounce his name. Iga Zelda guy. He was saying like they're thinking about working with DLC around Zelda. The Wii U Zelda or the Link Between Worlds?
He was talking about the new Wii U one.
The next one, not Wind Waker.
Not
Wind Waker or something. The actual next Zelda game that's coming to the Wii U, which we obviously know nothing about. But he was talking about that and like saying, I took from it at least that he was saying things like using the engine and using the sort of world of this game, making a brand new game. Just think about this world, a Zelda game. Now imagine Twilight Princess and all of its glory. Now imagine a new Zelda game. It's set in the same world as Twilight Princess. Yeah. Brand new story, new bosses, new everything.
Yeah, well, it's the subscription economy, essentially. It's,
It's almost kind of like Majora's Mask. You know, like how Majora's Mask used some of the same game models, some of the same characters, some of the same music from Ocarina of Time, but it essentially became its own game. It became something completely new.
I think it's really good that Nintendo are now doing DLC in a way, because it'll reshape what DLC is, because ever since DLC's come out, we're in a lull of just, here's some map packs, here's some costumes, here's an extra gun. It's just, here's
an extra few levels.
For me, it's just rubbish. I mean, to be fair, there is some DLC that's good. For example, I thought Mass Effect 2 has some pretty good DLC, which I have got. But that's actually, these are like proper missions that are worth getting, in my opinion. And the same with Mass Effect 3, even though I've not got them. But when you get these games, but what I would like to see, obviously it was not going to happen, it's Mass Effect, it's made by EA, but I would have liked to have seen, there needs to be because I bought them all separately, essentially. There should have been like a season pass, essentially, that says you can have them all for a reduced price. And I think other DLC game, LA Noire has DLC, and you can buy it all for like a discount.
Yeah.
That essentially just has missions, which I'm not a big fan of. I want something from DLC, something that actually adds to the game, something that adds to the experience, not just extra levels.
Yeah.
Well, there's a Mass Effect one, it did actually progress the story and did actually add more to the franchise, add more to the series, so it was worth getting, I thought. But obviously, Mass Effect has other DLC, which I hate, like Do you want this gun? You'll have to pay for it. Do you want this costume? Why would it? You know, and it's just balancing out really. And I prefer actual DLC that actually adds to a game, which is like Super Luigi U. When I say adds to a game, that's a whole new game for me. But I think DLC could be done in so many different ways. I mean, Smash Bros. Could have DLC.
Yeah.
Quite easily. Super Mario Kart 8 could easily have DLC. So, and you wouldn't be against that though, because Mario Kart 8 comes out in the start of next year, and you play it and you love it, and then in the start of 2015, Nintendo just say, yeah, we're going to make some new stuff for the Mario Kart. We're not going to bring out a retail release. We're just going to give it you, for a tenner or something. And it's like, I don't know, 4 extra cups or something. I don't know. Just like,
I imagine that.
You'd be all over
4 extra cups.
Yeah.
For a tenner. That'd be amazing.
You'd be having that, wouldn't you? That's how DLC should be. It should. But on the other case,
something that furthers the gaming experience.
If it was
not just changes the appearance of what you've got.
You want something like that. But what would be bad for Mario Kart if they said, "Oh yeah, well you can now download Wiggler, just Wiggler," and you're like, "Well, what's it? As a playable character?" And you're like, "Well, you want something that's actually adding to the game, not just a little peripheral thing."
Yeah.
And then you get people will buy it just to say, "Look what I've got, everybody." No one wants to play as Wiggler. But
yeah, like you go on when you play Mario Kart 7 online, it's just funny because you see countless people are either Metal Mario or Lakutu.
Just to say that they've completed the game.
It's a status thing. It's like, wasn't it that the case with like the Halo Samurai sword?
Yeah, that was.
If you had a katana on your back,
it shows that you're at a certain level.
You've beaten a certain level on like Legendary or something, and
so
it was a status symbol. It was just like, look how good I am at this.
Mario Kart, come on.
Yeah, it's Mario Kart. It's like, I unlocked Lakutu, but I wasn't going to play as him because, quite frankly, I don't think Lakutu should be in it. But also, it's like, I've got Koopa.
Yeah, I don't...
I don't know about you, but when I have Mario Kart, I don't really vary who I play as. I play as, like, one character. It's nice to have the choice to play between characters.
I'm always Yoshi. I'm sure in every game.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Smash Brothers.
Mine always changes apart from Smash Brothers. Yeah, you bet. Yoshi lost a bet on that one.
Yoshi is rubbish on Smash.
Unfortunately. But yeah, what was I saying about Mario Kart? Oh yeah, like so I'll vary it. My characters sometimes change. Like I on the Wii one, I'm King Boo.
Oh yeah, but
only always because there's like this handicap system on that game where if you're lightweight, you tend to get pushed around a bit too much.
Yeah, and Yoshi's a lightweight on that game.
Yeah, he's a lightweight apparently, but Boo's a heavyweight, or King Boo's a heavyweight, and I like Boo as a character in general. So on the tennis games, I'm always Boo.
Yeah, if you get the chance to pick him, you pick him.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Mario Party 8. If we ever got that game, I'd play as Boo. But I always sometimes play as Koopa as well. Those are like my 2 Mario Kart characters, Koopa or what's he called? Boo. So I always interchange the two, but sometimes I'll play as like when I got Mario Kart DS, like the first one. I played as DK a lot, and the reason why I played as DK was because I liked the cars. I liked their cars in that. DK had a Rambo one that was awesome, and what's his name? Wario. I played as Wario as well. He had like a
purple car,
pretty much like a pimped up ride car.
Yeah,
and
I was like, why he had that.
I want that. I was like driving around with that. I only drove around as those characters because I liked the cars they were driving.
Yeah. DK has like a barrel car as well in the Wii one.
Double.
Is it Double Dash?
It's in Double Dash. Yeah. And there's a barrel one in Double Dash.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know whether or not he has a barrel one in.
The Wii one has a lot of cars, so it probably does have it in there. Yeah, but that's with DLC. That's what I would say. And Smash Brothers probably will end up with some. I know Sakurai said it's up in the air, but he said he's only going to do it if it's like worth something. He's not going to throw characters in there, which is what some other companies would do. Let's face it. So, like I say, that will work as well if you get Smash Brothers, and then about a year later he just brings out something additional to it.
Would I really complain if Smash Brothers got extra characters?
I don't know. See, it works for everyone because it means the developer doesn't have to churn out a whole retail game, it can bring out supplementary stuff to a game that already exists and already has an install base.
Yeah.
And it works for people who've got the game because they get more from it. I mean, Smash Brothers is an everlasting game anyway.
Yeah.
You can play Brawl now and still get enjoyment out of it.
We can play. We did actually.
Yeah.
The other month, didn't we? We played Smash Brothers on the N64, the original.
Oh my god!
Very first one we played.
And it was really fun.
The one
Even if it was
Smash Brothers we haven't played in absolutely ages is Melee.
Yeah, and it's probably the best one.
It is probably the best one. Now I know a lot of people go, "Oh, well, Brawl's superior."
I just
or
like
the
Melee.
original
Something
will
about
be the
Melee.
best. It's like, yeah, but Melee. The reason why my heart is always going to be with Melee over Brawl, even though Brawl is a really good game, and it's actually superior to Melee in many ways. Melee is the best Smash Brothers because, in terms of steps forward in gaming, that was a huge leap.
Yeah.
It was a huge leap forward from the original. You got so many new modes, so many new characters, new things to do. Like you had the event matches, you also had the tournament matches, you also had it was in my head a minute ago, but now it's gone. Well, you had adventure mode. Yeah, you also had trophies. You had trophies. It introduced trophies. It introduced length.
Brawl pretty much had all of the above and Subspace Mystery.
Yeah, Subspace Mystery was good. I like that.
Well, I think the new one looks so good.
It does.
I just can't wait for it. And it's a bit sad that you can't connect. Well, you can connect, but you can't cross-play with the 3DS and the Wii U. But and another thing that came out this week was the 3DS characters will be the same as the Wii U characters. There's not going to be like any missing.
Yeah.
Which could mean that there's not that many characters on the Wii U version.
That's scary.
I would prefer the Wii U version to have more, if it can, than the 3DS version.
Yeah.
Just have the main characters on the 3DS one. But if we end up losing out of like a lot of characters, I'll be a bit annoyed because I've already conceded that Ike's going to go.
Oh yeah.
I think he probably is.
Ike was just.
I like Ike mainly because I like Fire.
The thing is, sometimes Smash Brothers will be filled with contemporary characters that are popular at the time.
Yeah.
Ike was on because he was
the lead character of Fire
Emblem. He was the lead
Emblem,
character of the Fire
so
Emblem.
you'd expect
franchise
Chrom to
at
be
the
in there
time.
now.
So that's why Chrom is probably going to take his spot. Marth has always been like the most concrete Fire Emblem character, so he's not going to go anywhere, I don't think. Then you've got the likes of Lucario. I think he's just going to be replaced with Mewtwo. A lot of people are going for Mew 3 as well, like the new Mewtwo form.
It will be him because Pokemon X and Y will be out by then.
Yeah.
But it just depends. Because I like Ike. And everyone likes Ike. I mean, that was his chant. Everyone was like, "We like Ike. We like Ike." It's great. Everyone wants Ike.
Yeah.
But fortunately, he's probably going to go. But it's like I always see the comments on Nintendo Live. It's like, "Oh, just get rid of Ike." And I'm like, "No. Why? Ike was really good. He used ether and everything."
You see, people are saying that, and then they're also going like, "Oh, I hope Sonic comes back."
Yeah, there might be people who want Sonic back, isn't it?
A lot of people have even called for more Sonic characters to make an appearance.
No.
Get Knuckles in. Oh, get Tails in. Get Shadow. Get Silver. It's no use.
No, we don't want Silver. We don't want any of them. I mean,
if Silver was to make an appearance, his taunt should be.
If Sonic's in it, I hope he's improved because I thought he was rubbish in Brawl.
Yeah, the thing is, a part of me just say, "Oh well, no one's moves will change. Everyone's moves is pretty much going to stay the same." But Sakurai has recently shown off Pit, and he's got new moves.
Well, if Sonic just needs better moves because he was crap.
Yeah, Sonic
apart from
really
his final smash, he's useless. He's just rubbish.
Yeah.
So he needs changing.
He needs changing.
Snake will go, I think.
Snake's gone. Yeah.
That's good as gone, I would say. I mean, you never know. They might have someone like Simon Belmont in it.
They could.
If Konami.
He's a possibility, but I think Mega Man has replaced Snake in terms of that third-party position.
Yeah, because Sakurai just said there's not going to be that many third parties in this. Don't get too
because Capcom have never been in it.
No, they don't.
So I think Capcom have replaced Konami.
Yeah, because where's Konami been in terms of Nintendo? They've released Lord of Shadows, Mirror of Fate. That's literally the only game I can think of that they've released on a Nintendo console for a long time.
Well, they also re-released Snake Eater, but yeah.
See, there's not even a Contra game on the 3DS. That's a bit of a missed opportunity, I think.
There's a Contra game on the DS.
Yeah, but not on the 3DS. 3DS has... There's money to be made by making a Contra game on the 3DS.
The thing that gets me about the Contra games is they don't come out in Britain.
Well,
They don't.
You just have to wait ages for them, don't you?
Yeah, they're all in the States. It's like, why?
Apparently us Europeans are a bit too highbrow for Contra.
Oh, are we a bit too highbrow? We need to remind you of European Extreme,
Yeah.
the hardest difficulty on Metal Gear Solid
Spin the
2.
bottle. Which is also over here. European Extreme, the ultimate.
European Extreme.
The ultimate in difficulty.
Yeah. So you can't get... I mean, it's like the Kid Icarus difficulty settings. The hardest one is nothing harder. There should be one more.
Nothing
European
hard.
Extreme.
Yeah, there should be European Extreme after that.
Yeah.
European Extreme. I just love that. European Extreme. It's like, oh, sure, this is how the Europeans do.
We got it. When we first got it, there were 4 settings. There was easy, hard, easy, normal, hard,
Extreme.
and then very hard.
And there's Extreme.
Right? Yeah, but that's the thing. Then we played it, and when we completed it, we go, "Oh, you've unlocked new modes."
Yeah.
And we unlocked very easy.
Yeah.
We had very easy. It was very easy, normal, hard, very hard, extreme, and then we played it again. I think we played it on harder difficulty because we wanted it, and then we unlocked European Extreme, and we were just like, "What is this?"
European Extreme.
I just love the fact that it's European Extreme.
Yeah, Europeans just do things.
Europeans. Seriously, you don't, gamers out there, you don't mess with Europeans.
No,
they will mess you up.
Yeah. They literally play games while doing weights.
Yeah,
at the same time.
They pick up Halo on Legendary with a blindfold on.
Yeah, and play it with the feet.
Holding the breath.
Yeah.
Playing with the feet. Yeah.
Underwater. While flying a kite.
While flying a kite, upside down, whilst being punched in the gut constantly. And they can beat it without losing a single life. Boom. That's Europeans for you.
Yeah.
So what is this European Extreme? I think at some point we should do that. We should just for fun, because we never actually played it. We sort of just went, whoa, seriously.
Never dared venture into European Extreme.
Yeah, we never really did. So I think we should try it.
I wonder if they're still doing it.
I reckon it'll be something like stupid, one hit kills thing.
It'll be, yeah.
It'll be one hit.
And there'll be loads of guards they can see further than 3 inches from the face.
Yeah, they're all wearing glasses. So it's just sort of
I love the other modes, you stand in front of a guard, you can't see you because you're out of his range. I'm clearly stood in front of him. This is supposed to be like a genetically modified soldier. Up to the peak of his condition, he can't see me from 3 feet away.
Yeah, well, to be honest, he can. If you're just out of his range, he'll go yellow.
Yeah, he does actually, you're right. Oh,
what's that? Walk over to you.
Just a box.
Yeah, if you sort of stay there, he'll go, "Oh no, it's you." But if you move away, he'll just go, "Oh."
Must be
sort of dumb. It's just right. If I was policing a corridor, patrolling it, going up and down this corridor, and I saw a human figure that I did not recognise further down the road, I wouldn't just go, "Oh, it must be a ghost," or "Oh my gosh, I must have been seeing things." No. If it's a distinct human figure, and if I saw the exact same human figure again moments later, I'd think, yeah, this can't be coincidence. I'm not just
alarm
seeing
bells
things.
should be ringing at this point. Metal Gear, what a brilliant game until, the 4th one came out. The 3rd one, is it Metal Gear Solid 4 on PlayStation 3 or what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the new ones, what's the new one called?
The latest one.
Yeah.
The Metal Gear Solid 5. The Phantom Pain.
The Phantom Pain.
Yeah, it looks stupid. It looks so stupid. Seriously, that game, in terms of how dumb Kojima can go. Yeah, it's dumb. It's pretty dumb.
I've given up on Metal Gear now. Whether I play
Metal Gear 1, awesome. Metal Gear 2, yeah. Can't really fault the gameplay of Metal Gear 2, really. Gameplay's fine, story's a bit meh.
Snake Eater's good.
Snake Eater is awesome.
Not played on the 3. Well, I have played on the 3DS. Don't bother, is my advice to you.
Yeah.
It's been made terrible. I remember playing the demo and going, this is just bad.
Yeah. We kind of went off on a tangent there.
What were we talking about?
Because we were talking about DLC, then we ended up talking about Smash Brothers, and then we ended up talking about Konami's support for Nintendo.
And now we're back.
And now we're back to Smash Brothers, I'd say. But I'd say, really, we've kind of exhausted.
Well, there's a lot to say about Smash Brothers, and I think, well, more will probably come out this week, because more's just going to trickle out weeks and weeks and weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've pretty much...
I really can't wait for Smash Brothers. It's going to be awesome.
I think we've pretty much covered this week's goings-on. There hasn't been a lot going on. I think the big news for Nintendo is the free-to-play game finally got announced. There's been obviously a few releases with new Super Luigi U. But other than that, it's been a fairly quiet week.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that would be all.
I think it will be all.
So, that's goodbye from me, Mark.
And goodbye from me, Andy, obviously.
And we will see you next week. Have a good week playing games.
Yes,
hopefully
happy
we'll have
gaming.
more to talk about next weekend.
Yeah, like we've had nothing to talk about this one. We've been going on for about an hour and a half now.
Yeah, like literally an hour.
So, yeah. So we've had plenty to talk about. Even on slow news weeks, apparently, we can't stop banging on about games.
Yeah.
Still
don't know how to end it, do we?
No, still haven't figured out a way to end it, so we're just going to say goodbye.
Bye.